The new frontier of which I speak is not a set of promises. It is a set of challenges. For I believe that the times require imagination and courage and perseverance.
Here are Robert Young and Jane Wyatt with Ellen McGonigal, Billy Gray, and Lauren Chapin in Father Knows Best.
Sunset Strip.
Produced by Warner Brothers.
Courage, endurance, leadership. John F. Kennedy has them all the way, and the way has been the hard way. As president, John F. Kennedy will have the courage to meet the greatest challenge our country has ever faced. He'll have the endurance to do the work, to maintain the patience, to possess the raw nerve we need in a world where our enemies would like to win by wearing us down. And he will give us leadership for the 60s, a new American leadership, for the world beyond the seas to honor and respect. FDR, a man who loved the sea. John F. Kennedy, another man of the sea. His hand will be a strong hand on the ship of state.
Do you want a man for president?
I'm not a politician. But most Americans are at a big
In the South Pacific, and the time my brother died for in Europe. While this year in Navy Academy. To all Americans, I say that the next 4 years are going to be difficult and challenging years for us all. The election may have been a close one, but I think that there is general agreement by all of our citizens that a supreme national effort will be needed in the years ahead to move this country safely through the 1960s. I ask your help in this effort. And I can assure you that every degree of mind and spirit that I possess will be devoted to the long-range interest of the United States. As leader of this party, I hope he would maintain the same. The question before us is, which point of view and which party do we want to lead the United States? Mr. Nixon, would you like to comment on that statement? The next question. Republican campaign slogans, you see them on signs around the country as we did last week, say, it's experience that counts. That's over a picture of yourself, sir. Implying that you've had more governmental, executive, decision-making experience than your opponent. Now, in his news conference on August 24th, President Eisenhower was asked to give one example of a major idea of yours that he adopted. His reply was, and I'm quoting, "If you give me a week, I might think of one. I don't remember." I can only say that my experience is there for the people to consider. Senator Kennedy's is there for the people to consider. As he pointed out, we came to the Congress in the same year. His experience has been different from mine. Mine has been in the executive branch. His has been in the legislative branch. I would say that the people now have the opportunity to evaluate his as against mine, and I think both he and I are going to abide by whatever the people decide. You feel that everything that is being done now is satisfactory, that the relative power and prestige and strength of the United States is increasing in relation to that of the communists, that we are gaining more security, that we are achieving everything as a nation that we should achieve, that we're achieving a better life for our citizens and greater strength, then I agree. I think you should vote for Mr. Nixon. Only you can decide what you want this country to be, what you want to do in the future. I think we're ready to move. It is to that great task, if we're successful, that we will address ourselves.
By riding the back of the title, ended up inside. To those people in the huts and villages across the globe, struggling to break the bonds of mass misery, we pledge our best efforts to help them help themselves. For whatever period is required, not because the communists may be doing it, not because we seek their votes, but because it is right.
Representing the nation's news gathering organizations are seated here in the auditorium. This is being presented live for the first time. In previous years, presidential news conferences have been recorded and filmed, but never broadcast nor televised live. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Here now is the Chief Executive. A number of your right-wing critics say that your foreign policy is based on a no-really policy in the Cold War. Did you address yourself to this charge?
Well, of course, every American, right, whoever they may be, they want the United States to be secure and peace, and they want the cause of freedom around the world to prevail. Quite obviously, that is our national objective. And what we are anxious to do, of course, is protect our national security, protect the freedom of countries, permit what Thomas Jefferson called the disease of liberty to be caught in areas which are now held by communists. The objective of this administration, and I think the objective of the country, is to protect our security, keep the peace, protect our vital interests, make it possible for what we believe to be a system of government which is in accordance with the basic aspirations of people everywhere to ultimately prevail.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Lift off. Lift off. And 3. Roger.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are willing to postpone, and one we intend to win. We all inhabit this small planet. And we are all mortal.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. I speak to you tonight in a spirit of hope. 18 years ago, the event of nuclear weapons changed the course of the world. as well as the war. Yesterday, a shaft of light cut into the darkness. Negotiations were concluded in Moscow on a treaty to ban all nuclear tests in the atmosphere, in outer space, and underwater.
Last year, we had 5 pieces of legislation that were passed. This is the most legislation that's been passed in the field of crime since 1934, and extremely important pieces of legislation. I think it's already had a material effect on the activities of the big-time operators, the big-time gangsters and movements throughout the United States.
Think you find that you help fill that gap?
You cannot be admitted. I am not going to serve you because of my race. I'm not going to serve you because of my race. Move on. I'm not going to serve you.
I proposed to the President an idea that I have been discussing for several weeks now, and that is a need for a sort of second Emancipation Proclamation declaring all segregated facilities unconstitutional and illegal on the basis of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution.
I guess that they mainly delivered to see what part.
We have the script draws usually in there.
I know.
Economic progress. Not really in common. And when one man is all about free, then we look at what's fallen to that day. When this city will be joined as one and this country. And this great culture of Europe. And then there's the big kids. We don't talk about that. When that day finally comes, as it will, the people of West Berlin can take sober satisfaction in the fact that they were in the front line.
Dedicated his life to love and justice to his fellow human beings.
No memorial oration.
He died as a result of that order.
Honoring that following the references today would be a wonderful way of keeping his memory alive. So we founded the Profile and Courage Board.
Nature reveals itself not only by